On this week's show, Tesla tries to end range anxiety, a bargain that's too good to miss in California, and why Nissan's BladeGlider EV is unlikely to make it into production. These stories and more coming up next on T.E.N. Enjoying today's show on YouTube? Want to read the articles we're referencing as we go? You'll be pleased to know that we've embedded clickable links through to each and every story in today's show. Just click on the headline for each story in your favourite browser and it will take you right to our site where you can read the story in full. Watching elsewhere? You'll find the links to each story in our show notes for today's show at www.transportevolve.com/10. It's Friday, March the 20th, 2015. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield and we've had a partial solar eclipse today. I'm so excited. Last weekend, Tesla CEO Elon Musk enigmatically tweeted that Tesla would unveil a new over-the-air update for its Model S electric cars that would put an end to range anxiety forever, the fear that you won't reach your destination in an electric car without running out of charge. And yesterday, in an online press conference we live blogged over at transportevolve.com, Musk fleshed out some details and introduced us to two new important Tesla features rolling out with software update 6.2 that will indeed make it tough to run your Model S's battery pack flat. The first, called Range Assurance, uses data from Tesla's network of supercharger stations, as well as local weather reports and topographical information to give a super accurate range prediction and to make sure that you'll never be stranded. The second, called Route Planner, plots your most efficient route, prioritizing faster charging options over slower ones, and even tells you how long to stop at each charging point, pinging you via push notification when it's time to leave for your next stop. Other updates to 6.2 due in about 10 days' time, including activating some new active safety features for cars made after October last year, like automatic braking, blind spot warning and cross collision warning, as well as an update to the car's radio, audio codecs, and a few nips and tucks here and there. So if you've got a Tesla Model S, you've got about 10 days to wait before the new shiny arrives on your car. Think back to the start of the year and you may remember the 500+ mile trip made by an automated Audi A7 piloted drive prototype car from San Francisco to Las Vegas in time for the 2015 Consumer Electronics Show. At the time, that trip was pretty impressive, but now a team of engineers from parts supplier Delphi Automotive are about to head out on a 3,500 mile trek from coast to coast across the US. The T.E.N. automotive supplier will leave this Sunday from the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco and send its specially equipped Audi SQ5 SUV all the way across the US to New York. And while there's going to be a team of engineers accompanying the car on its trek, it's expected that the car will do most of the driving for itself. We're expecting it to arrive in New York by this time next week, so we'll keep you up to date with this exciting self-driving story. Just over a year since the state of New Jersey's Motor Vehicle Commission essentially made it impossible for Tesla Motors to sell direct to customers within the Garden State, Republican Governor Chris Christie has signed a new pair of bills into law that essentially hands back Tesla's right to sell direct to customers in the Garden State. Passed by the state Senate on Monday in an open vote with no debate 30-2, the bill carves an exemption into New Jersey auto dealer legislation, allowing certain zero-emission automakers the right to own and operate dealerships within state boundaries. Signing the bill, Governor Christie welcomed the new legislation, saying, "As I said last year that if the legislature changed in law, I would sign new legislation put on my desk, and that's exactly what I'm doing today." So, if you're in New Jersey and you want to buy a Tesla, you'll be pleased to know that you can again. Smiles all round. As those who keep an eye on such things will tell you, Fiat Chrysler CEO Sergio Marchionne is no fan of plug-in cars and once famously told customers not to buy the all-electric Fiat 500e compliance car because, quote, "we lose $14,000 on every one we make." It's no surprise then that Fiat hasn't done all that much to make the fun, funky Fiat 500e easy to buy. To date, it's only been really possible to get your hands on one in the state of California, where the car is essentially a compliance car to enable Fiat Chrysler to sell its usual gas guzzlers within state boundaries. And while other states like Oregon are now starting to see the fun Fiat for the first time, sales of the 500e haven't been all that large. Until last weekend, when a group of motorsports enthusiasts in California learned of a new deal being offered in the Golden State that meant you could buy or lease a brand new Fiat 500e for 3 years and 36,000 miles for just $82.75 a month. The deal, which you can read more about on our site, leverages California's generous $2,500 electric car rebate program alongside the $7,500 federal tax credit and a $2,100 cash on the hood deal. As of last weekend, 100 cars have been sold alone, so if you're in California, you may want to check this unbelievable deal out. To date, German automaker BMW has chosen to segregate its all-electric and plug-in hybrid models under the Specialist I brand, reserving its main BMW brand for traditional gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles. Next month at the 2015 Shanghai Motor Show in China, however, that will change with the unveiling of the first production version of a mainstream BMW plug-in model, the 2016 BMW X5 xDrive 40e. Based on various X5 eDrive concepts we've seen at various auto shows over the past 2 years, the X5 xDrive features a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder gasoline engine and an 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission with integrated 82 kilowatt electric motor. Acceleration takes 6.8 seconds to 62 miles per hour, which is hardly sports car fast, but the good news is that the X5 xDrive 40e should have enough range to offer 90 miles of zero emissions travel from its 9 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery pack before it needs to be recharged. And while that's not as good as some plug-in hybrids out there, it should at least help some school runs in wealthy suburbs to become a little bit cleaner. Sorry, used a stereotype there. Back in November 2013, Japanese automaker Nissan wowed the world at the 2013 Tokyo Motor Show with the BladeGlider EV sports car, a vehicle it said would revolutionise both the world of sports cars and automotive design forever. Deltoid in shape, that's narrow at the front end and big and wide at the rear, the BladeGlider featured seating for 3, in-wheel motors at the rear and super fast performance. What's more, it was promised that the BladeGlider would enter into production sometime around 2017, priced from just £30,000. But now it seems that Nissan has cooled on its plans to bring the super sharp BladeGlider to market, saying it has other priorities right now and that while the BladeGlider isn't dead, its production plans are on hold. What Nissan isn't saying, however, is that the BladeGlider, like the Nissan ZEOD race car it raced at Le Mans, are currently the subject of a lengthy legal case from US businessman Dan Panos, who claims that Nissan is infringing copyright of a delta wing car design that his company owns patents to. So if you're waiting for a BladeGlider, you may want to start looking elsewhere for another car. And finally for today, we're not sure if there's something in the water or just a bad luck comes in threes meme, but in the past week we've had 3 separate recalls for plug-in vehicles and 1 investigation. The first came the 2012 to 2014 Toyota RAV4 EV, which has been recalled to solve an issue which could result in the car suddenly jumping out of drive and placing itself in neutral, causing a loss of motive power and the increased risk of an accident. Then came the 2011-2013 Chevrolet Volt, recalled to solve an issue with the car's onboard engine management system, which could result in the engine running when accidentally left switched on, causing a toxic buildup of poisonous carbon monoxide gas when parked in an enclosed space. Then there's the Kia Soul EV, which was recalled this week to fix a problem with a weak accelerator pedal, which could bend or even break, causing loss of power or control to the vehicle. You can see information pertaining to all 3 recalls, plus details of a Nissan Leaf cold weather brake investigation in Canada on our website. So be sure to head there when we're done to find out more. Well, that's all we could fit in this week. You can catch us next week at the same time for another weekly news roundup. Visit our site every day at transportyworld.com for the latest news, or join us live online for the weekly Sunday panel show at 1800 hours UTC. For those whose clocks changed recently, that means you'll have to double check the local time for your viewing pleasure. As usual, there's been a whole lot we haven't managed to fit into today's show, including how electric car residual values are on the rise, why PG&E is looking to reward plug-in car drivers with rebates earned by selling low-carbon credits to big oil, a Portland, Oregon charity brings big smiles to sick kids' faces courtesy of Tesla, and why Elon Musk thinks autonomous vehicles will lead to humans banning themselves from driving. So when we're done, click this link and head to our site to catch up. That's all there is to say today. I'm Nikki Gordon Bloomfield. Have a great weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.